I said, oh, yeah, Steve's got a friend called Stephanos. And then I don't know how he came with it, but he said, Dennis, when I was talking to Dennis.
All right.
And I said, we were joking. I went, oh, we need to make a film called, like, I Am Stephanos. Like, that's a good title for a film.
It is.
It's like, it's a nice name, and just the, I Am Stephanos.
Stephanos
Like a guy in a band. Something to do with him in a band.
So before I start this week's podcast, I just want to give a massive shout out to our sponsor, Muamade. Muamade is an online homeware and accessories store. They specialise in crystal necklaces, keychains, coasters, ashtrays, makeup and pen pots. They even do pet name tags. You can specialise these with any names or initials that you want. You can specialise them with a mixture of different colours and crystals. And if you have any special designs in mind, you can give them a message and try and make that vision come to life. If you like what you see here, please head over to Muamade on Facebook and Instagram. The price lists are on the page. Message to order, and once it's complete, they'll send it out. That's Muamade on Facebook and Instagram. Enjoy.
Hello, welcome to Road Least Travel. Today we have special guest Jack Harrison.
Hello.
Emphasis on
Is it
special.
Jack Grayson now? What's it going to be? Jack Harrison? Jack
Grayson for acting jobs.
For your porn name.
Yeah, for my sexual
Him
name.
and Johnny Sins.
Yeah, I'm also a nurse and a
An
pilot.
astronaut, a teacher.
Yeah. Well, I don't know about... No, teacher. Yeah,
He's done
teaching
teaching roles.
He does all of them.
Yeah. He's got an IMDb page.
Well, they all do. They all want
Do they
them.
really?
Yeah, most of them. The ones that have the stars, yeah.
I'm
The
going to
porn
make you a
amateurs.
star.
I'm going to make you a star, kid. Going to be a doctor? Trying to be an actor?
You can
be
be
a
anything you
boss.
want to be.
Do you mind if we try some of this?
Yeah, go for it.
Some ouzo. We just look
It
like
sounds like
alcoholics.
you're- I know, yeah.
It's just an excuse to have a drink, really.
So I'm going to ask the question everybody's wondering, what's the deal with the bandana?
What? What do you mean? I bought one of those. I was telling you a minute ago, the when they have those shitty racks when it's like sometimes it's clearance, but it was like, oh, the wood pan that filters your fish really nice.
There you go.
Or a certain type of hair trimmer that trims your balls or whatever. One was a bandana and it was like, oh, there's 12 ways you can do it. You can make it a scrunchie, you can make it this hairband. And I said to him, and the baby started...
By JML, by any chance? New from JML, the multi-use bandana.
Did you watch like a
remember that
YouTube
bit,
video and just it's like, I need to get one of these?
The baby started wearing headbands again. Do you know those pound little crappy ones little girls wear?
Yeah.
And she put it in my head the other day and she went, oh, Daddy, that looks so good. I went, does it?
Does it really?
And I looked at him. I went, does it look good? She went, yeah, it looks all right. Apart from the pink flowers on, it looks good. So I went, I need one. But no one I know has long hair. And
I've
don't
needed
have
one all my life.
I needed it.
I just didn't know till now.
If I didn't cut my hair during the first lockdown, I would have, because I probably would have been... It was like longer than this the first time. And then Amy cut it and it got shorter. And But if I left it, it would have been nice and sexy. But I just have to go
I'm
with
on a
it.
horse.
I have to go with it. I'm on a horse. He's a big star now.
Is he?
He does a lot of acting jobs.
The Old Spice guy just wants
Yeah, the Old Spice guy, yeah.
Yeah, that Dead Man Fed's good. Like
So he was like, obviously a working actor, but he did the commercials, and then all of a sudden he did, I don't know the show because I've watched it.
Isn't he in like a supernatural kind of
Kind
show?
of, yeah.
I think because my mum
The
watches that kind of
Immortals
shit.
or something
Yeah,
like
yeah,
that.
my mum watches that shit on
Alright.
like
The Immortal
Netflix.
Bones or something like
Yeah.
that.
He's like, I'm a sexy werewolf. I'm on a horse.
Is that his one line?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one thing he did ever.
It's like when like an actor's in a movie franchise, but they're known for another franchise. Like like Arnie saying like I'll be back or whatever. That's his thing.
Yeah.
He's just like I'm on a horse.
In the show, he's like, I'm a sexy horse.
Is it like one guy was like in every 80s movie, like you can do it? Do you know what I'm about?
That's
like Big Stan
Rob
and
Schneider.
stuff like that. Is that Rob Schneider?
Yeah, in all the Adam Sandler films.
Oh shit, is it?
You should know you're Adam Sandler.
He's going to be in
With
like
his haircut, yeah.
he's going to be like in an animated film one day, and he's just going to be like I am a horse.
Yeah.
yeah.
He's got a sexy name as well, but I can't remember what the fuck it is.
His fucking voice is just like oh
Yeah,
God.
it's really nice.
Right.
Well, at least he didn't get typecast for it. He wasn't like always doing those ASMR. Call back.
Ladies.
Don't start. Last time he did loads of shit like that.
Hey little mama, let me whisper in your ear.
That sounds like a sexy song then.
It
Oh,
was.
well, it is, well, yeah.
That's his new track.
Hey, little mama, let me whisper in your ear.
What song's that from?
I don't know, but I feel like it's Timberland or someone.
Yeah, something like that.
It came out in the 90s, surely.
Yeah,
I feel
maybe
like it's 90s, early 2010s.
or maybe late 90s.
Nah, it's later than that, surely.
Isn't it like Promiscuous Girl kind of?
Yeah,
era?
that kind of even like
Yeah.
2004. I want to say.
I want to say early 90s. Early
Yeah.
to mid
It
90s.
can't be late 90s, can it?
Nah.
Speaking of,
I remember it being on the radio, that's the thing.
Speaking of early 90s, I played a song because I'm the musical one in the family, and Amy's choice of music is shite. Sorry, babe. Whatever song I put on, the baby likes, and Mortal Kombat came in my head for some random reason, so I wanted the 90s one. So Mortal Kombat. And I put it on, the baby straight away was like, play it again, Dad. Play it again. So I was just,
Daddy, this is fire!
Yeah. But the song's called like impatient techno syndrome or something weird
Yeah.
in brackets Mortal Kombat. So I told her the name to tell Google, and she couldn't say it. She was like, "Oh, okay, Google, play impatient syndrome. Is that right, Dad?" I'm like, "No, babe, that's not
Close
a word.
enough,
But it's
close enough.
Missing a few consonants there.
But what were we talking about? Why Grayson?
I don't
Why
know.
the acting
Yeah,
name?
yeah, I think so.
I
I don't. We got off a tangent there massively.
I know, yeah.
What,
do that long.
why did you call yourself Jack Grayson?
Why?
Why are you speaking like it's a video?
Because I'm taking the piss.
I think we've established it's a podcast by now.
It's a podcast, guys.
Yeah.
We don't have to talk like this.
Anyway,
Not five seconds
tell
now.
me about the name.
Well, as any reactor
I was just
deals
curious.
with,
I was just curious why, because Jack Harrison, I mean, it's quite a. Well, I wouldn't say it's a popular name, so I would have
it's
be a
not,
good
but
choice.
on Equity there was a Jack Harrison.
Some fucking nicked it.
Yeah, someone bastard at it, and this was
You have
when
to kill him and wear his face.
I know, yeah. But this was
The
on
only
the
way.
young.
for you.
It's the only way to do it, Jack.
Hello, Clarice. Harrison. What's that
Oh,
noise?
that was me.
Is that
was
you?
me. I knocked
Is
it.
there's a
I
weird
knocked it.
noise. Yeah, someone had the name. So when I went on Equity, and it was for the young performers,
Yeah.
performers spotlight, but young, it was a student Equity.
Oh
'Cause
yeah,
you mentioned it
you
before.
get on through. Yeah.
Because you just passed school, just graduated. No, it was you and Shelton and Caprice. All three have mentioned it to me.
Me and Beth went. Me and Beth Moore, but when we graduated, we both went on to Equity through the student program, and
Yeah.
I asked you, "Do you want to sign up again?" But at the time, obviously, I didn't really see the point, so now I'm not a member. But I might sign up in the future.
Do you want to explain equity to anyone who's wondering what it
Yeah,
is?
so equity is basically like it's basically fair trade. No, basically it's all around good service for actors. If you're a starting out actor, it's really good. They'll have your back in every situation. You break a leg on stage, literally they'll cover you. But I think there's student equity. They cover you up to 2 million. I think it's 10 million. If
If you die on,
I mean, you have to
get
really,
like
you have to
£1
really,
billion
you have to really
pounds.
fuck yourself up to like get. 10,
I die
I think
after
it's
every
10 million.
performance.
Yeah.
No, it's up to 10 million on
Emotionally.
adults one.
And this podcast is
that a
actually
what?
sponsored by Equity.
no, I was going to say
It sounded like a proper
like
plug.
when Stephen finished, I was going to say the more you know.
But yeah, just basically like, what do you want to explain? But you probably know more than me. You're on the loop more, Jack.
Well, I haven't used it yet. You only need Equity when you're doing the show, the TV, film, or theatre
just-
performance.
Get a funky card, don't you?
It's just you get equity cards just so
think I've
basically
got it.
you get paid a certain rate and like they can't pay you under that
Yeah.
rate, isn't it? Equity rate.
So if there's an acting job
I
that
think
says
you-
equity rate,
It used to be like 350 per week, I think. I might be wrong. Or 350 per.
I don't know. Is it like
It used to be anyway. It might changed. I was sure it's like you have to pay minimum £350
I'm
to
going to
the
breathe
actor,
heavy during this
and
equity there?
it should say on there what you're covered for as well. And on
Have
the
a read,
back and front,
Declan.
'cause I had one as well.
Graduate member.
Graduate member, and it's out of date.
And I'm not talking about my penis. Yeah, it's like an expiry date. Yeah, this is expired.
Mrs. Robinson, are you trying to seduce me?
This is actually expired, by the way.
All right, calm down. Fucking hell.
But just let you know.
Sorry, I got
yeah,
equity during Corona.
no, the limit is 10 million. Yeah.
Yeah.
I said $1 billion, but it's close to 10 million.
Yeah, you need another zero.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Robert Downey Jr. got paid like, it was like 500,000 for the first Iron Man. Then everyone after that was like 30 million, 32, 35.
Yeah, like snowballed,
40,
didn't it?
50.
It was this co-star that got really fucked over.
Terrence Howard.
Yeah, he got massively fucked over because he didn't even get anywhere close. And they demanded fair.
Well, I think he got like half the price for the first one, and they were like, "Can you do it? Because it's a small budget film, even though it's the start of the MCU." But at the time, that's all they could afford.
Wasn't anything massive?
Yeah, it was. I can't even remember the first film before that. Superman Returns. Bryan Singer's Superman Returns.
In terms of superhero movies,
Superhero
would have been X-Men, really, wouldn't it? X-Men was like the first big superhero
X-Men
movie.
3 and Superman Returns, I think, were the same year. Like, they got filmed the same year and came out a year or so between. But
Iron Man came out in 2008.
yeah, so the one filmed 2007.
Yeah.
If the film Superman Returns came out in 2006, it was like that year. Know what I mean? But
Yeah.
this is the start of a franchise.
Yeah.
A huge franchise. They could only afford 500,000 for Robert Downey Jr. Terrence Howard took a cut to help the film, like Jonah Hill did with Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah.
So he was like, "Yeah, I'll do it, but the next one I want proper money." But after such a global phenomenon that Iron Man was, they went, "Oh well, we have to pay Robert Downey Jr. proper money now because he's done so well."
Pint glass for that.
Thank you.
They said to Terrence Howard, I assume, I wasn't in the room, obviously.
You were
Just
flying
there.
the wall.
I walked in with my headband.
He's like,
I must know.
They're like, you again?
And I walked in and went, equity card member, let me in. They said to him, "Oh, we can't pay you. We said we were going to pay you, but we can't now because Iron Man 1's so big. We need to pay the star the biggest amount of money."
Yeah.
Which was something like 20 million for
I know, but
Iron Man
like,
2.
say if it was 20 million, surely they could have paid him took a bit off that and paid him a bit more.
But I
surely,
think
you know
it
what
was
I mean?
like, he said, "I want more." So if he got paid 20, he's like, "Can I have 25? They were probably like, "No, we could pay you 15. But probably his ego was like, "I'm not getting 15, I want more." I was the star for Iron Man 1.
Yeah.
Know what I mean?
I don't know.
He got
what's going
Empire,
on, but yeah.
TV show Empire, so fuck him.
It's all worked
Terrence
out.
Howard. Next time, baby.
It's
How he
it's
talks.
Ron. It's Don Cheadle. He took his
Don Cheadle,
yeah. I remember that Captain Planet sketch. Did you see that?
I saw it, but I can't remember it. I do remember being
He
funny.
he just goes around turning people into trees.
And doesn't he swear in it?
Yeah.
Like,
He becomes
"Fuck
like
you,
he becomes like a tyrannical maniac and
Yeah.
just starts turning everyone to trees. It's kind of, but then it's like one of those narratives where it's like what's that thing called where the guy turns everyone to gold? Like it's a specific name for him.
Golden member.
I love gold.
I thought you got to turn about the Skittles like the adverts.
Yeah. Nah, he turns someone that he actually likes into like a trade. He's like, no.
Touch people with gold. I don't know. But
Y-
Captain
th-
Planet's
there's a-
before
there's a-
our age. though.
There's like a fable or something, isn't there, where the guy like he wishes for the ability to turn everything to gold, and then he turns his daughter to gold when he tries to hug her.
Yeah.
What? It's something
What is
cursed.
that?
I'm trying. I forget. I can't remember the name.
It's probably boring.
That's you've unlocked a childhood memory there.
Yeah,
I know, yeah.
Memory unlocked.
It's probably a
You
stupid
know
name,
what I'm
like
re- you know what I'm
Prometheus.
I know
referring to?
yeah, I know what you.
It'll be an old name, yeah. It's not
So
going to be. It's
weird.
not going to be called Kevin's Curse, is it? You know what I mean?
I remember
Like,
that, but I don't like. It's back there. I just don't know the full.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless they made a film about it, we don't care.
yeah.
So
Like
I was gonna say,
Sylvester's Curse.
what projects are you working on at the moment, Jack? 'Cause I know you did. You've been auditioning, haven't you, for some roles?
Which, what's the date today? 29th or 30th?
27th.
20. I wouldn't say
No, I
28,
think
but
you're right,
I feel
because
like I'm
Amy
wrong.
mentioned
27th.
Oh, you're right. It's 27.
27th. So, oh shit, it's 27th.
Mm-hmm.
So, the latest audition, I should hear back on the 29th to the 30th, like the recalls.
Yeah.
Excuse me. But that's auditioning for jobs, whereas creatively, to keep the mind going during Corona, which we've all started doing stuff like this way too late. I mean, like, you two should have done the podcast first week. We should have made films.
It's having to set up and getting it. I mean, I've been getting this ready since a year. What are we now? About a year ago. About a year, yeah. But we've been doing my research, getting what I need, all the equipment and stuff.
But you had the other job to deal with at the same time, know what I mean?
Yeah. So it's been.
Way hey.
And it's more saving up the money, you know.
I said way hey. I didn't say woohoo like last time.
Wait.
Woohoo! It's way hey.
That's
Was that a
another-
year
that's
ago?
another business venture.
How long ago was that? No, that was. What do you mean, like end of last year, wouldn't it? So it would have been
Something
like
like that.
last third of 2020.
I was referring to like saving
way
money
here
to
thing.
buy all this stuff. That was like sort of the start.
But I mean, you get money off them to help with. Do you know what I mean? When you do work for your other business way here,
yeah.
when you get paid, that was you saving up to do this
No.
wouldn't
I bought most of this stuff privately
from selling your ass
Well, I mean, if
on
so-
Union Street.
If it's selling your ass to the catering industry, then yes. not catering, it's more
Well, you got cakes down there.
hospitality.
What are we
But
talking
yeah.
about? Oh, films.
But yeah, I was going to say, I was going to say what sort of because you did what was that period drama you did where what's it called? It was on TV. It was filmed in the northeast. I was going to ask you what it was like behind set on there.
All right, yeah. So for
When you're like a guard or something.
Yeah.
What was it? What was it called?
Victoria,
Victoria.
because
What was it like on set?
the only
there? So-
acting jobs I've ever had in my professional career, these were all extra jobs, but they were still extra jobs
Yes.
technically.
I'm an
Oh
actor.
no, I just thought it might give people more like experience, more like visual. Like if you talk about your
Yeah,
experiences, what like
To go through what it was like on the day.
might help with people.
So it'd be different if you're like a supporting actor or a lead or in the main cast. But just from being the extra, the 3 times I've done it, and all 3 of the jobs were Victoria, Vera again.
It was Vera I was thinking of. It was Vera.
Vera I
And
did,
V
but
for
that was-
Vendetta.
Yeah, I wish. Oh, fuck, my nose. So with extras, it's a 12-hour day. You normally do, and you get paid for the 12 hours. But if you go over, you get paid whatever more. You drive or travel. You travel to the job where they tell you to. Normally it's on set. Sometimes it might be just off set, and you have to take a bus to the actual set. But so the first one, I'll go with the first one. Vera was in Newcastle, near, I think it was in a university, because they were filming in a hospital. And obviously, say if you have a medical university, they've got the room set up
Yeah.
to look the business.
Yeah.
So when I went to that one, I drove. This is when I think I probably just got the car. So I drove up. It's only down the road. Probably took 40 minutes, and I set off like 2 hours early. When I turned up, I drove past the wrong place, but I knew where I had to go because I could see all these big trailers.
Yeah.
And when you're an actor and you're first starting out, you're like, well, clearly that's got to be where I'm going.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it's not around the corner in this shitty dog field. But I still drove to the dog field anyway. That's where it told me to go. So when I came back, went through, and there's like a guard because they have to block it off for set.
There was a guard on the set.
There was a guard on the set.
He's like, hey,
He just had a high vis on.
he's got experience.
He's miming a gun. Like,
Yeah.
What the fuck you want, motherfucker?
just wearing all black. Like,
And you a Geordie? Yeah, motherfucker.
So you turn up on set after you sat nav and you got you lost. Then what sort of happened to you?
So that day it was you turn up, sign in, tell me your name, whatever, and he says, right, there's where you park, here's where you have to go, and it was the breakfast trailer. It's where you get your breakfast from catering. You go on the trailer. People probably know or will find out when you first show up. You just think everyone's an actor
yeah.
because these Vera's like a modern day drama, isn't it?
Yeah.
So they're meant to look like normal people. All these people walk on. I'm like, oh yeah, that's the fish shop owner. That's the detective. When really it's just the grips walking past getting the breakfast.
That's the camera operator.
Yeah. But he's got like a certain clothes on, so it looks like he's going to be on set, but really that's just what he wants to wear when he's doing his job.
Yeah.
And they're all talking to each other, so I'm like, oh, this must be the cast, because I don't watch Vera. Like that day, I sat down and quickly tried to watch an episode to see what it was like. I was like, shit, what's the show about? Just in case I have to say a word.
You walk on and you go, space, the final frontier. It's like, this is a coffee shop.
Hello, Vera.
Engage.
And because it was my first time, I didn't realise I could have went and got breakfast and sat and ate it and waited for the second AD to come over and like grab everyone.
Yeah.
But I just sat there with like my packed lunch sandwiches, like, should I eat now?
Eat the
Is this gonna be
cheese.
a long day? But with that one, the first time, it was just a case of, oh no, I did Victoria. Anyway, that time it was the worst experience acting wise.
Really?
Only because the way they set the scene out was, I don't know, 20 feet away was the room where they were filming.
Right.
In this big hall, they had everyone, director, second AD, props, costume, all in this room, and riggers ready to go in and out. And in like, it looked like the reception. It looked like a hospital, but obviously they're not taking up a hospital. In the reception was the extras, and outside was a little bit of catering. Then outside was outside. Know what I mean?
Yeah.
So we're sat in reception waiting, and the second AD would come out and go, "You can be the guy who's dying. You can be," and like some of us.
Is this just process of fucking elimination? They're just like, he
They're
looks
just
the
like,
part.
"Oh, he looks like a
What the?
old man who's about to die. You can go sit down and be the old man who's going to die."
Right, we need a woman who's having a baby, and then she's like, "Oh shit, they're all men."
Like, you would think they'd do a better job of like even like asking for extras like for these certain specific.
Exactly, yeah.
Just
roles or
grab
whatever.
people off the street.
Yeah, you might as well at that point.
Well, they did look the part, except for the one guy who was. They were like, "Oh, you can be the main nurse," and this guy looked like he did walk off the streets. You know what I mean? Like he did one
Yeah.
theatre performance.
He probably did. He probably didn't know.
She
What
went,
to-
"Oh, you can be the
You wandered on by accident.
Yeah.
you can be the main nurse, extra wise, and just be in charge in the background." And he went like, "What? Okay." And I was like, "I'll fucking do it. I'm a nurse. I'm dressed like a nurse." But no, they let this guy on. And when I watched the episode back, he literally was just like, he's doing this in the background, like right.
Clueless.
Yeah,
Mimes a telephone. Hello.
he started frying eggs. What are you doing?
Ah, yes, acting.
So all that day was just sat waiting, and it was they didn't go over. They might have even finished early. And this was years ago. I think this was when I was still in Staples,
All right.
and I haven't been working for Staples since 2000. A long time ago.
Watch out for the mic, Jack.
2000
Hey.
a long time ago.
Just keep the mic near. Just
All right.
no, because you do what I do. Where you like you fucking move your head like heads will
So-
roll.
I know to try to talk to you, but it's there.
Hello.
Yeah, just adjust it. And even spin it round at the end.
If
of
you
it, like,
if
there
you
go.
up, just
There
move
you
it.
are.
Yeah. Sorry, I just
Yeah,
wanted
so
to make sure we
that
could hear you.
day, that day,
You were at Staples. Still.
I was at Staples, and they needed some confectionery work, so I was like, "Yeah, I'll do it." No, so I did the first day. They picked everyone they needed, and the second day, I mean, in terms of for people who don't know, if you're an extra, unless you're the main cast, the director's not going to come talk to you. Like I didn't see the director until right at the end when I was allowed to go in the main room that I mentioned and sit in Video Village and sit and watch the scene.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But didn't like talk to the director, just half
Yeah.
a mile behind. But it's
You
the-
walk up and say, "Excuse me." Start tapping him on the shoulder.
the director.
I need to be in this scene.
Hi, I'm an actor.
I need my points for Spotlight.
The heights are disproportionate. You're like a little kid coming up to so he's just like,
It's
you
like-
like coming on the t-shirt like,
it's-
hello.
Sign the spotlight card.
Please.
Well, they have those chairs, don't they? And the chairs are like for the ego, they're like
Well,
very
tall
high.
ones,
Yeah.
So I was like, "Excuse me, sir."
It's like when I went at swimming baths where there was it lifeguards.
Yeah,
sat there.
Please, sir, could I have some more?
More what? More scene work?
More. I'm glad you got the reference.
Just people who don't know as well. Spotlight is an actor's. Well, it's for professional actors. You need 4 acting credits, don't you, or a certified stage school or university to go on there and find the jobs.
I don't
know.
know.
What the fuck, Spotlight? I don't know.
You don't know.
Yes,
He's counting this as a credit there.
I know. Yeah. I'm getting paid for it. I've done my corona test. Corona, yeah, Corona, COVID. Yeah.
I always get confused. It looks like I say Corona, like, no, it's a beard. I'm like, oh, no, the beard.
it's a
sorry,
thing.
not beard. I said beard because I'm staring at your beard. No, it's, I always think, oh, Corona, that's beer. But then I'm like, oh, no, it actually is. Because I'm used to
But is
calling
it like the
COVID.
nickname? Because the title is COVID-19.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but people say Corona, don't they?
Isn't
But they
it?
do-
Isn't it the disease versus the virus versus the strain of the virus?
In my head,
It's
it's
like iterations.
it's
isn't there?
cocaine,
Yeah.
then crack,
Yeah.
smack, flack. You know what I mean? Like, they have the nicknames.
Jack.
Baby, you want a line of Jack? Look at them breathing there.
I can't stop talking about DC. I don't know what's up.
Zach?
Snitter.
Snyder.
Snitter.
You said Snitter?
I know. I did on purpose.
Anyway, shut up. What about
Also, see,
my shitty
you haven't even
extra
tried, you haven't
experience?
even tried your Uzo, yeah? But do want to hear about the rest of your experiences, what were they like? Hopefully a lot better.
So I'll finish up the
After you
first one
spoke to you
quickly.
next time.
Spent the whole day there, and the second AD, that what I was getting to, the second AD is like for me, my experience working, is the leader in terms of they're the ones who were like, can we get extras coming in, crew, can everyone come in, right? This is, and one of the acting experiences, it was the second AD that was directing the extras and sometimes the actor. The director was just sat in Video Village watching, he was like, but I'll get to that in a minute. So the second AD, I was talking to her a lot, because she has to be behind the scenes with everyone waiting, and then she'd go in and talk to people. And this AD was really nice, and she was like, this lady's going to come in next when they flip the scene round and we're shooting the opposite way. Because I spent most of the day on this one side, which was Vera's coverage. Right. It wasn't on her partner's, who's this day player.
Right,
she
so
played
it's very scene focused on one character.
On her.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's like when you hear like, what about my close-up? What about this? It was, you could tell it was all on the main girl, which fair enough, it's her show. But if you want the other side, they'd flip it. But because it's a nurse and she was a supporting artist, do you know what I mean, what we aspire to be, then obviously a main cast. Her coverage was just her, and because she's at like the reception in the scene, her like, I should know, the wife's a nurse, her section where she's like in charge near the computers. Next to her was just a door, so you couldn't get anyone else in the scene where you could use your extras. So there was 8 of us still not used. And then, because I was like, could I be in the scene, please? This is my first time. I'm a virgin. And everyone else couldn't be asked talking to her. She was like, yeah, we'll get you in. We'll get you on the other side. And they had lunch. When we came back, it was still that coverage. And right at the end, she went, Jack, we're going to use you for this bit. I was like, yes, get in, bitch, yes, love you. And she went, walk past the door. And I went, what? She went, yeah, walk past, but you're not going in. You have to go into the room where the director and everyone is. But because the way the room worked, I had to...
Could you not really see your face? So you like...
No, I watched it back and you can't see the face.
You like turn the camera like...
She said, walk towards the door, because it's a glass little plate.
Yeah, he cracks his spine. He's in shot. Like.
He's just like...
That's me.
No, she said, walk to the door and quickly turn, like you're walking past the door. But really, you had to walk to the door and go...
To be fair, maybe if you did like crack your neck, you'd hate yourself and have to be in another scene. You just drink that straight on the bottle.
No, just where you said crack your neck and
Yeah.
I'll be on episode 2.
Yeah.
Oh, that's doing it.
I'm a supporting artist now. You have to keep me.
I went method.
Yeah. A young Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yeah.
You like blackmail him. It's like, I hurt myself on set. Either keep me in it or I'm suing you.
Here's my equity card and £1 million.
You just throw it.
Yeah, just throw it at them. Give me the fucking job.
What you gonna do, beer?
You throw it out behind and just walk out that door.
Yeah.
I'll see you guys next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been next week. It would have been tomorrow. But I'll come back for tomorrow.
Yeah, every day in the context of the show is actually a day in real life.
Yeah.
they
have to get it going really quickly.
It's constant.
You
can't be sick. We need you.
Come on, you shitty extra. So that was Vera.
Yeah.
The next one was Victoria, where...
You're in shot for
But
that
no,
one?
it was Victoria, Vera, Victoria.
Right, Victoria.
I did Victoria
Vera.
twice.
So Vera was the middle one. Is that the one?
I think so.
Is that the one you just said there?
Vera's the first, Victoria's the middle, Vera again, wasn't it?
No, it was Victoria,
I
Vera,
thought you did Victoria one.
But I think I might have did Vera, then Victoria twice.
Maybe, because you said Vera was your first one that you've just been talking about.
I'm pretty sure
I remember you
So
doing
it will be
Victoria because you actually showed up briefly in a shot, didn't you, for Victoria?
Which one's like the
you're a
soldier?
guard.
Which one's the soldier one?
Victoria?
Victoria.
Well, I did do Vera first, so I must have done Victoria, then Vera.
Maybe.
That's what I'm saying, because
Vera, Victoria.
Anyway, what was your experiences on there?
That one, it's more insightful, because when you turned up at... Oh, what was it? Whitby? I think Whitby.
You got Whitby, Scarborough, Sands End.
No, I think both towns were in Whitby.
Right.
And that one was I was playing the soldier, and this is where the second AD was like, "We need all you soldiers." So at that time, I turned up and went through costume and makeup. Whereas Vera, it was like, put your clothes on. You don't really need makeup.
Can I just
Go on.
just lower that mic a bit and put the mic itself up near?
No.
Yeah, just because it's
Like that's.
just blocking up some of your face otherwise.
I just want to.
Just maybe rotate it so it's near you. Just so it's not blocking your face. Because I noticed that, well, trying to make yourself look good on camera angles. You're not on beaver now, Jack. Sorry, so you turned up on set to Whitby,
Yeah.
you were saying?
So for Whitby for Victoria.
He was a vampire.
Yeah. I wish.
It's my casting.
Could do with this hair. Oh yeah, you definitely. Lord of the Underworld. Dracula. Victoria was different because you saw the actors straight away. Like they'd come in the room with the extras. Didn't talk to them, but they came in the room, so you like kind of got to know who was who. It took us out via a minibus to the set. You know what I mean? We were in base, then you had to go to first location. And that one, the second AD was a bit like the last lady, but Joe, he looked like Cillian Murphy. You know what I mean? Thomas Shelby.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit. Is he,
You thought it was?
has he stopped acting and he wants to do some directing?
I mean, a lot of actors do go into directing, don't
Yeah,
they?
they
or
do.
producing,
Ben Affleck did that, didn't he?
Oh, yeah, he's probably the... Yeah, he's probably the youngest well-known for it.
Yeah.
Because, like, you've got Clint Eastwood's and... I was going to say Woody Harrelson. Not Woody Harrelson. Harrelson.
We need
Taika
some
Waititi.
clues, Jack. Give us a
Yeah, the one with the glasses who...
Taika Waititi
Touched
was
his
an actor
kid.
originally, wasn't he? And
Yep.
then he went
Oh.
directing.
You know what I mean? What's his name? It's Woody, isn't it? Woody Allen. I shouted that way too loud. Woody Allen.
It's Woody Allen! It's Woody Allen! Bingo!
Woody Allen acted and also directed.
Right.
Taika Waititi, but I don't think there's many people before Jojo Rabbit. Not many people knew he acted. Like, did you know he was in Green Lantern?
He was in Green Lantern,
Yeah,
wasn't he?
yeah.
Because they
Hated
him
him,
and Ryan Reynolds like pretended that they'd never been,
Yeah.
been in
That
it before.
interview with
yeah.
for Fall Guy.
Yeah, I think it's not Fall Guys, the game.
The guy.
I know
Guy?
what you're on about. It's
Yeah.
the one where he's in the video game.
Yeah, the new one. And he
Uh,
was like, "Oh, why do you want to work with Ryan? Oh, I just love his films. I've never worked with him before." And then they're all like,
yeah.
"No, but you did, didn't you? Green Lantern."
Like no.
It's funny, but they're going on about Green Lantern way too much now.
They were on about getting Ryan Reynolds to come back
For
as Green
Snyder.
Lantern in Snyder Cut, weren't they?
Which
That
would have been
a
nice
cool
and funny,
reference.
but
It would have been a cool reference, I think. That film was shite.
no, they wanted him. Then they went, "Oh." Then
He turned it
Snyder
down,
went,
didn't he?
I think they wanted him first because for the buzz. Then he went, "No, actually, I want Jon Stewart, Green Lantern." Disney went, not Disney. DC.
Oh my god!
Oh my God, kill me!
Warner Brothers is the overarching network for that.
Yeah. Warner Brothers said, "No, we're using Jon Stewart or Green Lantern for the future films."
Well, I'm pretty sure like Ryan Reynolds also like just like politely declined as well. Like,
Yeah, he was like, "I'm not doing that again."
because he made a joke I think on social media where he had like a little glowing ring or something while he was watching it or something like.
Oh, really? That's
Yeah.
cute.
How quaint!
I know. Ryan Reynolds doing stuff for the people. How funny.
Would you say that like because I've not done any extra work? Well, I've not done any work.
And you don't need to.
But like I was watching Ricky Gervais's extras.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you say that like not the, obviously not the overarching narrative of it, but do you
Yeah.
think like it's a fair representation of some of the struggles of doing extra work?
Well, see, extras I never watched in its entirety. I only watched like clips.
I've seen clips. I'd say it is, but it isn't.
Yeah.
Personally.
Because his whole thing about that show, how he's written it.
But he had
I
like
think he
guests like Daniel Radcliffe and stuff like that.
He's
Like, it
talking
wasn't
to the
like-
artists.
It wasn't like real extras, was it? Most of the time, it was like well established.
His
actors.
whole thing was
well,
he was talking to the actors on set. Where
He
extras
was an
weren't.
extra though on set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he would bump into them in like these like sort of like wacky
Yeah, like,
situations.
yeah.
And the whole arc of that show is him eventually like rising to stardom, like proper struggling, but he eventually gets a break and
Oh, he gets like a.
I think
big role.
Patrick Stewart's actually the guy who's just like, yes, I'll read you. Like, like I'll
She
put you-
takes her clothes off.
Yeah. Oh, is this a comedy? No.
No. So I'm walking my dog,
And there's this
and
woman.
I look at her,
There's a woman there.
and she's trying.
And I look at her and I think I'd quite like to see her naked. And so
I look at her, and she can't control her nipples. I love
And then he
that.
goes, "Oh, this is a comedy." He's like, "No."
No. I've been writing it for 20 years.
And then anyway, there's this policewoman, and she starts shouting at me. And I also think I'd like to see her with her. It's so good.
It's good. But him talking to the actors on the set isn't, in my experience, real life. Because I was going to say, should I badmouth them? Like I'm going to meet them and like I care. I said to my mum, because she kind of watches the shows and she knows the actress Vera from, because she was Oscar nominated years ago.
Yeah.
She's like well known. I remember on that set her walking past when they broke for lunch, and she just like blanked everyone.
Yeah.
And her like the other lead, the young lad, I say young, I think he was like 38, 40. He was like, "Hi guys, hi," to talking to all the extras, and everyone's like, "Oh," and like some of the older extras were
Big
like,
deal sort of.
"How lovely is that?"
Yeah.
Some actors are like that though, aren't they? Some of them really do want to help people, and some of them just can't be bothered because they ask too many questions. I mean, I kind of can't blame them in a way though, but I think
Partially, like I can understand from the point of view where it's like you probably get harassed constantly by extras, being like, "I've got this script,
probably
on
the
this
sick
thing."
of it, yeah.
But then I'm like, imagine if you were in their position.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I would
Like,
try and help people. I think like I don't know. Obviously, you catch people on bad days though, don't you?
Yeah.
You know?
But to be fair, in my experience, no one ever tried to talk to them. It wasn't like, "Oh, please, can you talk to me?" And so when you start in theatre, you do like a full day, like you might do a load of scenes.
Yeah.
The scenes I did, it was, so the Vera one was a bit longer. It was like a couple lines for the main, couple lines for the support, and back and forth.
Yeah.
For maybe a minute. The Victoria, the first time, she had, or second time, whatever, when it was the Queen, the girl from Doctor Who, I forget her name.
Yeah.
Emma.
She plays Clara, doesn't she? But I
Yeah.
can't remember her name.
She had like a tiny monologue,
Right.
and that was it. Oh, and the extras had to fight because we're kicking off about the Queen. That was it. But not fight. It was just like,
Yeah.
go away.
Bicycle's my favorite song. Like, sorry.
No, the Queen. I want to ride my bicycle. I want to. Yeah, tiny little speech. That was it the whole day. And the second time I did Victoria, it was walking down the road and we're following like a supporting actress. I mean, she's like the help in the show and she's carrying bread. And that was the full day. So every time it's less than a 2-page scene.
Yeah.
It must be a lot of waiting about on set then, I imagine. It was like, because say if you're not needed and it's a 12-hour day, do they send you home or do they keep you just in case?
Keep it just in case, yeah.
Keep it just in That's the thing. I mean, obviously, like, it is worth it to get the experience of being extra.
That's the reason I did it. It's worth it to get the experience, but not
But, I mean, it's a lot
3
of
times I
waiting
shouldn't
about.
have done the third.
You don't
shouldn't
want to
have
be
done the third time.
known as an extra.
Yeah.
Yeah,
artist.
like, I wouldn't do extra work more than 2 or 3 times because then you get known as, oh, that's the guy who's an extra. And you don't want to be known as that.
Maybe do it 2 or 3 if it's like an extra on a TV show in England, an extra on a film, and an extra in a TV show.
Yeah, like 3 different
abroad.
mediums.
Yeah.
I tell you what,
Just to see the different
We
types.
were on about this the other week, weren't we, Jack? So we were on about certain actors who we get talking to, we meet new actors, and like, oh, I've got an agent. I'm like, oh, have you really? And then like, yeah, they're like, oh yes, it's so and so. And then you search him up later on, it's extras agent. I'm like, fuck, that's not a fucking agent.
Yeah.
I mean,
be your man.
it is, but like,
Yeah.
it makes it sound like, oh, the prestige is like, only I've got this, no one else has.
Yeah.
I could sign up and get
I'm
that.
kind of a big deal.
Yeah, like the god and stuff. Then just I'm like, that's not a real agent, man.
Well, me and Steve, we did a short film web series.
Yeah.
One of the people we worked with, I remember saying like, "Oh, I'm working with Jason Momoa last week." Jason Momoa.
Yeah, I was like, the way they say it makes it sound like doing like a scene with him, like a speech and stuff, and then like, oh, so you happen to be in the background when he was like you can barely see your face probably.
I was in the background of a Subway commercial. I don't mean to brag.
And Jason Momoa walked past.
Yeah, and he had a sandwich.
It's just so pretentious of people doing that.
Yeah, man. Like, good on you. You're getting the work and stuff.
I mean, there's white lies, and then there's that though. You know
Don't
what I
big it
mean?
up more than what it is.
Everyone's told white lies, and then it's like to the point where it's just like massive exaggeration.
It's the biggest thing in the life at the minute.
We're on first name terms.
Yeah. He's like, "Hey, dude."
Yeah.
He called me dude.
My man. Love that line.
My man.
It's awesome.
I saw an interview with him earlier, and everyone's always like, "Oh, Jason Momoa's beard's like, oh, it's
Shaved it,
like
didn't he?
Amy loves him."
Really?
I think
Amy
everyone
loves
does.
him. Yeah.
He's
I'd shag him.
He'd shag you. You'd have no choice in the
Have your
match.
legs up there.
When people are like, "Oh, who would you turn gay for?" I'm like, "Oh, I don't know. I'd let them put up my bum." But every time would be Tom Hardy, but I think I'd have to shag him unless he was in his
Tom
warrior.
Hardy's my height though, remember
That's
that.
what I mean. I can shag him, but unless he's in Bane shape, then he's shagging me.
Yeah.
I'm taking that penis all day. All day.
So getting away from this discussion talk.
Hardy penis. About Hardy penis.
I've got a Tom Hardy for you, right?
Try and keep more PC. So I was going to say, Jack, are you looking forward to the theatres opening? And
Fuck the theatres.
I was going to say, are you looking forward to doing more theatre work or more TV and film work? Because I always like get bored out. Like say if I've done theatre work, I'll then want to move straight on to TV and film. Are you the same?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I want to do theatre because they've been closed longer than... Sorry, Dex, just spat on you. Closed longer than TV and film.
Sorry, you enjoyed it.
He likes it.
Moving on.
No, I mean, for all of us, like, the last time we did theatre, I would have been
3 years ago.
later than you. So, I mean, like, probably Steve was the last to do it because of uni.
Yeah, 3 years ago.
You were later than me because your final project wasn't theatre.
That's what I mean.
And you weren't in the festival.
It's got to be at least 3 or 4 years, hasn't it?
But it's 3 years for me. It'll be probably 3.5, 4 years for you.
Yeah.
It's been counting down.
I know, yeah.
It is. You genuinely start thinking about it. It's like, it's been that long.
I found I was looking through boxes earlier, trying to find some charger or something, and I found loads like old scripts that I've kept like on a file. It's loads. It's amazing.
Yeah. Did you write through them?
Yeah.
Are you a scribbler?
Yeah. As soon as I get the script, I highlight all my bits, then annotate it. Like I write down the bits in between. Like I feel like doing acting 101. Yeah. So basically, it's
Lit pants.
It's what your character doesn't say.
Yeah.
That's what you have to look at.
I think
and
sure
also the beat of how you say it as well.
Like sure not tell's a massive thing. I hate it when like you get an actor and it's like a lot of lazy sort of like blockbuster movies these days, and they just spout exposition for about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Like what's the word for it? So there's a certain term, isn't it? When it's
sure not tell.
No. There's a certain like acting term.
No.
I'll
teach you, young one.
What is it? It's do you want to say like it's what your character's thinking about while he's
Subtext.
kind of
Like the intentions of someone.
Yeah, intentions.
Yeah,
sorry.
subtext.
Yeah, it's intention. Sorry. Yeah, I feel like
intentions
sums it up.
Yeah.
Well, the subtext when you're speaking.
Yeah,
to someone,
you
like,
could say
like,
something.
It's the intentions behind it and stuff like that. I miss doing that.
I thought you meant when the person's talking and you have to react, like what you're not saying, what you're choosing not to say.
Yeah, it's kind of.
What's the word for that?
It's more the intentions, like why am I saying this to this person? But I like during the power play, you think at what level are these different characters on? Who's the highest? Who's the lowest?
Yeah.
Playing about with stuff like that.
I laugh.
That's very Paul method.
Well, we did I was going to go on about one of our lecturers, Pete, and like I think there was a point in our when we were at university where we were the only 2 lads in the class, and he brought us up, and he was like, I think and he whispered to us like something, and we both
kiss him a little.
just like, and Jack's like, can I use tongue? And it's like, go for it.
He's the same height as Tom Hardy.
No, but the whole so I didn't know what he had been told, and vice versa, and there was a chair in the middle, and it was about status, about like, here's how you're feeling, and he gave us a number. It's like, you were this timid or whatever.
You're a 4. You're a 7.
Yeah.
And like, it was interesting because we were both on to interact, like, try and take the chair from the other person and move towards it. But we were like both reacting to each other, and then it turned out we had the same number in the end. And it was like it was showing like the different sort of like status levels.
Yeah.
But I thought that was proper interesting because it was sort of just like you could kind of get like.
But did you work that out before he told us at one point?
We didn't. I didn't know what he had been told.
You would think like, say if you were like say if I'm mixed up, but say if you were a 2 and you were a 7, you'd think Jack would be over the top trying to grab the chair from the top, while you'd be grabbing onto the leg of the chair maybe.
But that's why, because we're the same number, we're not acting that way.
And we were both like reacting off each other.
If you were going at it for quite a while with this chair. Going at
Well, the scene ended with kissing. It was really we're both a 7, like, give me it.
But it's not the worst thing we've had to do for fucking performance.
But you would think you'd come to the same conclusion in the end, maybe, or at least a rough similar number.
We didn't. That's the thing, like, because like I said, we had an initial number, and like a mood, and then a number.
Or mood as well.
Yeah, like so it was like being timid, being anxious. And I think it was like a 4 or something.
Did you both have the same mood as well as the same number?
Yeah, we did.
Right.
But then it was sort of like, and he was like, just go with it and then react off each other, you know, and try and take the chair off the other person and such. And we were moving closer towards it. And I think you naturally moved towards it quicker than I did. And then I was like, I probably overplayed it as much. But then after the scene had ended, I think he asked the class, and he was just like, "What number?"
Yeah, what number's he? What number's he?
And then he's like, "Here's a twist." To say, it was just interesting because I think when people think of acting, they don't think of reacting. They just think of these very sort of scripted sequences. You know, you've got these lines. You have to say it with this much conviction. This is the subtext. Or not even that, actually. They just say these are the lines.
Don't. It's that drunk guy in the club shop like, anyone can act, I can act.
Yeah,
oh,
exactly.
really? You've had years of training, have you?
Exactly. And then, but the thing is, you have to react.
Shit.
You have to react, and I think that's why they say, don't they? Like as a general rule, like you'll never make the same thing twice because it's every time you're going to react off that person differently, or like you're going to make a piece of art differently because you know you're in a different headspace. And I think people forget about that. You have to have that sort of sense of fluidity, but also remembering that you're acting at the same time. Yeah, and I think that's a part of it that people don't really give enough credit.
I think as well, like some of the creative workshops help a lot, like improvisation. That really helps with the fluidity of like
the bit Declan's on about. It was improvisation, but also the first rule is yes and. You know what I mean? So if he'd like try and take the chair, I'd be like, all right, you're trying to take the chair, but now I'm going to do this, blah, blah, blah. But the reason it didn't end is because we're both at 7. Same moods.
Did you ever do that thing? I think, so we went to college together back in the day, didn't we?
Yeah.
All
right, guys.
I don't know if you
stay longer than Declan.
I don't know if you remember, but you might have done this as well, Declan. We were sat on chairs either side of each other, and it was more physical reactions and interactions with your partner. So you split up in two to get a chair. So there's someone sat here at the side of me, and say if I'm sat like that, someone will like knock my arm, and then I'll do something to them. It's sort of like interaction as well as reaction, and it helps a lot because we had to like improvise what you do and make up like sequences or whatever, and then show it back to the class. I think you did one, and you went on for like 10 minutes or something. I was like, "Come on, man!" So like you like pull the leg off the chair and stuff like that, and I'm like, "What the?"
Start kissing on the boys.
It's just basically like say if someone knocks my arm, and then
stop focusing on that. You keep going back to that.
It's all gay to do.
But yeah, no, I think it's really really cool how it teaches you. You know, like,
when you can use it in
stuff,
I forget.
You forget you've done it. You have amnesia.
Well, yeah, kind of.
Yeah.
I haven't.
I do, to be honest.
When you were like, "Oh, we're going to talk about acting today in this podcast," we talk way too much about the extra work because it was boring and shit.
But
like
I think it's good for people to find out.
Good to learn and good to get the experience, but just don't do it more than 3 times.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to mention school, but and when he just talked about the Pete thing, my memory of uni more so than college, it's like it's turned off. Like I can't really remember what I learned.
I feel like university is more you learn the paperwork behind what. Like I feel like college you do a lot of like physical stuff, a lot of practical stuff. Where uni you learn the context behind it and why it's important.
Yeah, very much so.
But I can't remember that stuff.
Yeah, same.
Ronan's talks now, if he did them now, I'd love to hear them. But when you're in a class with people and some people don't want to hear, or your friends got
people
better things to say or more things to say, like, oh, I want to hear about that.
Yeah, like, I think I definitely agree with, like, college being more practical. Although you had a different sort of course to me because I was on an A level. So mine was, like, mine was actually more... Mine was almost like a precursor to the university course. Like, it was very much like, 60% theory, 40% practical. And then we went into the P-Line course. It was pretty much the same proportion. I think people like laugh and just think, you do an acting degree or whatever, and you bounce it about on stage, and that's all. It's all fun and laughs and stuff. But people don't think about the historical and cultural context of a lot of the thought process. A lot of it is history. A lot of it, I'd say, is social studies, and a lot of it is a bit of psychology, to be honest.
Yeah, definitely.
People don't think about that. And we were saying on a previous podcast, weren't we? They don't also think about the mental sort of strain of doing such a thing, because if you're really getting into a scene and you're trying to project these emotions and it becomes proper raw and you dig into your own sort of experiences, you feel that. And it's like, and you come out with it and you feel amazing because of that sort of rush of like, well, you did it. But then afterwards, you're sort of left with a lot of the baggage afterwards. And I think
Yeah,
never
it's
mind like the
weird.
physical aspect as well. Like, but people don't think about that.
Was there certain sets and films that actually got like a psychologist there for the actors afterwards, like just to try and
Help them
where,
out.
where did I read that?
How are
somewhere,
you
it's like-
feeling, Timmy? You're
Hello,
not a
yeah.
cat. I'm not.
Now
Cops
go do
the
the scene.
hairball.
That's going to be a shite film as well.
Who was it? Was it Seth Rogen who said he watched Cats while high in the cinema? And he was super freaked out. He live tweeted it because it.
Oh, I thought you meant
Yeah,
freaked
I-
out.
I-
I was
never
like,
mind.
that's weird.
Is it Seth Rogen?
Probably,
I
he's
think it
always
was,
high.
Yeah. I don't know if I don't know if I'd edible or smoked loads of weed, but he went to the cinema. He was live tweeting how weird it was.
Yeah, and everyone else was like, well, it seems all right. We're not high like you.
It's art.
Yeah, it's hard.
He made some good points though. He was like, yeah, why the cats doing this? That's
Yeah.
the cats are the humans. Why the
Like, Seth, they're not real cats.
Really, it was just shit CGI. He was like, oh, I didn't
I
realize.
think it was more the artistic choices of it because they had these like anthropomorphic like cats just plastered onto these human bodies
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it just didn't work.
I
Like, in a
ha-
cartoon format, it works.
I haven't. It's like Top Cat.
Yeah.
I haven't actually saw the film.
Hello. What's he
What?
called? What's the police?
Officer
one
Dibble.
called?
Officer
Dibbles.
Dibble.
That's
Yeah,
it.
Dibble.
Hello, Officer Dibbles.
Stop, Cap.
I'm sorry, Officer Dibbles.
Still love it.
Oh, it's an awesome show.
I was up to some mischief.
What are your favorite top 10 top cat moments?
Top cat.
It's awesome.
cool,
What's the little cat called? The little red cat?
Isn't it Benny or something? Oh,
Yeah.
that's a blue
Benny,
one.
Benny, Benny. Used to love that show.
It's good, man.
I still love it. I'd watch it.
Right, let's go watch it now.
Bye, guys. It's very much in line with that, the Flintstones sort of like animation style.
Yeah.
Like,
I
used
never
to
thought
love
about that, yeah.
I love that as well. To be fair, the Flintstones and
It
stuff.
was alright.
Yeah,
I was more a Scooby Doo kid.
yeah, Scooby Doo.
Yeah, well, Scooby Doo's one of the oldest ones, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Have you seen the recently? I watched I rewatched didn't get all the way through it. I thought I'd check out what the first episode looked like, and it's so bad.
Really?
Well, what was it? 1940s.
I can't remember.
There was a war going on, Stephen, at one point.
Yeah, had some explosions in the background. They couldn't filter it out.
Get down!
We made a point. We were looking for something around the house, and we put on the the Scooby Doo investigation music. It's like do 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 like just like they're looking for stuff around the house.
Yeah.
Like it was so funny, but like you forget about those because we hadn't watched it in so long, and we heard it. We're like, oh, like,
Yeah. Well, people use it all the time, though, don't they? For not gifts because you can't hear the music, but like TikTok. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
we'll go find the thing.
Kids use TikTok these days.
TikTok
Steven
nowadays.
does.
My brain's melting off it. Seriously, it's good, but it's also very bad.
It's more for showing off that you're
It's good for
hot
marketing.
or you've got this new
Yeah.
thing. And
I like you know, people do health stuff or food. Say people do food deficit diets or whatever,
Yeah.
calorie deficit diets. They show how to prep food and stuff like that. It's really insightful actually. So if some of it's insightful and some of it's 60% of it, 70% is garbage. But
Yeah.
there's 30% really useful stuff on there.
I think it's so popular because it's kind of popular the same way Instagram's quite popular in the sense that people prefer a visual medium, but that it's easy to sort of digest. People
yeah.
don't like to read things.
I
No,
think
they want
I
5
think it's
seconds.
attention span. It's built well for attention span.
Exactly.
The most it could be is 59 seconds, unless
Yeah,
you're
yeah, a
a
minute.
partner. But most people don't even put 59 seconds.
well, I made
more
the
than that.
sketches I had to edit for TikTok. I made a TikTok. I'm nearly 27-year-old man with a child and wife, and I'm like, why am I on TikTok? Facebook, fair enough.
You just sat there like,
It's but when I started, I didn't know how to add people, so it just said it had a plus sign. So it was
Yeah.
I just add everything on the first page, and then when I put my first video up, I was like, right, how do you work this out? And everyone I added was just shaking their ass.
yeah.
You know what
I mean,
kids, old
It's like,
ladies.
Amy, you're on here.
men.
to be fair, I
She's
have.
gonna hate you. Now.
I'm sorry,
I was
Amy.
going to say, I
Grace was on there shaking her ass. I said, make daddy some money, baby. Yes.
Yes.
And then I did it.
Not sure.
that's just a family version.
Yeah, I saw a picture the other
Family
day.
matters, Stephen.
I saw a picture the other day from the student union a few years back, and it's just you with your ass against the the camera's aimed at you, and you got your ass out, just not out, but you're
Yeah, pointed out.
yeah, presenting.
Yeah.
Presenting.
Like a
Can
cat.
we say they made
Like Cats the Musical.
Meow.
You have to show me that. I don't even remember that.
I'll find, we were both wearing matching shirts. You had a
Oh,
blue
me and
one.
you. I thought just me.
Yeah, no, I think it was
Oh,
me.
well, I remember that time.
Me, you, I had the. I had
You
like
both
the
doing
teal.
twerking contest.
Yeah.
No, I was doing a Green Lantern thing, funny enough. I had the ring on, and it was like a glowing green ring, and I was holding it up like that.
Was that going near Jack's anus by any
Yeah, I was
chance?
gonna say, I was going near my ring. His ring was touching my ring. And they kissed, like...
People use a lot. TikTok gets used a lot for like marketing stuff, doesn't it? I know like a lot of artists use.
I
it
mean,
and stuff like
I
that.
use it
Well,
for
TikTok leggings is the next
use it
biggest
for,
thing, isn't it?
for
TikTok
this.
leggings.
I was like, TikTok
What?
leggings?
What?
Have you seen that? It's on my Facebook. It's women, and then sometimes the boyfriends or
Oh
husbands
yeah.
will wear them.
Yeah.
But it cups your ass.
Ah.
You need to be around women more. I know there's a lockdown going on, but they cup the ass, and it makes the ass look very nice.
Oh right.
But this was before TikTok, but now the TikTok's
What the
going
women
on.
do, or the men?
Well, both.
Oh.
Men
I've got
can have nice
ass. I could
asses.
probably
It's
get
just
away with
designed
yeah,
for
women.
that. And they've got
done be
they've got
thick.
like woolly leggings, haven't they? Now they know like sheep skin sort of inside. I don't know what it's called. Is it
Probably.
cotton? But it's all about for winter. When it was winter time, they had them out and
Sounds like some
all
Bear
over. It was
Grylls
all over
shit, that.
TikTok.
Yeah. Well,
But I
not
mean,
on TikTok.
I use stuff like mini clips of this podcast. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's quite
Well, that makes
quite
sense.
good. Yeah.
And like I said before, Facebook stories.
I don't really like Facebook stories. To be honest, like,
I never until I saw people do the 25 in a row. Like I said before, the guy who was advertising.
yeah, but I feel like I don't know. Like I feel like I see people on like it's like reminds me of Snapchat. Now when I see people's story and they fucking go on about some shit.
I'm an
It's
old
like,
man. I don't even know. I thought Snapchat and WhatsApp were the same thing. Someone like, oh, can you send me a picture? I was like, yeah, I'll use my Snapchat. And they're like, do you mean WhatsApp? And vice versa, fuck it up.
I mean, WhatsApp. I can't even say it. I didn't say.
WhatsApp's the one you send messages,
It's
pictures easier.
It's good for sending them because it keeps the file format. Like, keeps
Yeah.
the size of it rather than. I think it's pixels. Sorry.
Not
Right.
good for old end phones, though. Is it? Yeah, resolution.
Yeah,
you know
resolution.
what I
So
mean?
that's what I'm on about. But yeah, my Facebook doesn't like you take a really nice
Compresses
photo
it.
and it
Yeah.
compresses it and it just looks shit.
But is Instagram the one where you can take a photo and it still looks good?
Kind of like Instagram.
Hit and
It's
miss.
it's like a continuous feed like Facebook.
Teach me, young boys.
Well, how it is like every post on Instagram, rather than it being like a text post, it's always got a picture associated.
Yeah, it's the
with it.
food, isn't it? When
People
people
take
take pictures
pic-
of
yeah,
food,
all
that's
the
big on
time.
Instagram.
Yeah.
And then
It sounds like you're just discovering
Yeah.
it. So there's food on Instagram, right?
What type of food? Cheeseburgers?
that's what I mean, but it goes back to what
Pasta?
we were saying.
Yeah.
It goes back to what we were saying about like it's easily digestible.
But I feel like
Yeah.
TikTok just makes that so much easier because it's all videos.
Don't you start, praising TikTok.
I'm not. 'Cause- well,
Okay.
I am because in some ways it is really good, but
a
in
married
some ways
couple?
it's really bad.
I'm watching him. I'm watching my friend turn. He's like, TikTok's not
But
that bad.
you do see some stuff and it melts your brain. You're just like, why am I watching this?
The flashbacks.
On TikTok, I'm never on until I start posting stuff. But then when it's like, the certain amount of people will see it, and it's not like constantly refreshed unless like,
Yeah,
Like the latest
the
TikTok.
algorithm's so messed up on there. Though.
Yeah,
I
it's
wish
weird.
they'd sort that out. I think they're experimenting with it with being a new app.
well, what's it
And
called? When
it's-
stuff gets big and
Viral.
Viral.
Yeah.
Oh, God. When things get big and viral.
Jack's like, erect! That's the one!
Vascular.
Penis is very viral tonight.
Honey, we can make another baby, honey. It's very viral. It's going viral. It's all over Twitter.
You on your phone, you're like, look, babe, my penis is going viral.
Bring the mask to bed.
The mask.
COVID mask.
Oh.
That was it. All right, fuck
I don't know where you go.
We'll end it now.
Right, it was a multi-layered thing.
Yeah, it's a
Right,
late
right, you
show.
know what, right.
Literally, Liz.
My humour goes over your head. I'm sorry.
What would you say before we bloody joke?
You, viral.
Viral. Oh, the latest thing I saw went viral TikTok-wise, viral, was the guy in Domino's, who I may or may not work for. Oh, I don't know if you can say advertising-wise.
We'll just say a pizza chain.
Yeah, Pizza
He's
Hut.
already said Domino's.
No, but it might be Pizza Hut. It might work for Pizza Hut.
Yeah, it might be Papa John's.
I don't give a shit.
Anyway, miscellaneous
By the
pizza
time
brands.
Domino's wants to take this down, I'll be left Domino's. So Domino's, the guy who works for Domino's, I don't give a shit. It's wild. I'm getting wild in here. Did you see the guy who worked for Domino's who kicked off about not getting a tip? He was American
didn't
because
see
they get tips. In England, we don't get tips. You get a thanks, love. Thank you for my pizza, love.
I
Did you not see it? So some guy kicked off for not getting a tip, and he kicked the boxes over.
But I mean, it shouldn't be expected. Like it's. I mean, yeah.
In America,
I mean, it's different rules over there, but still. Like
They get paid like £4 an hour, whereas we get 8. So
Well,
you would want the tips. It's something like
I
that.
understand that, but
I don't know the
their
exchange rate.
government should sort it out in a way where, like it is over here, you get a minimum wage and then a tip on top is just a bonus.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
If I've ever got, say, when I used to work at a restaurant, someone bought me a pint, it was a good day, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? But other than
It'd
that, I
be
didn't
weird if they
expect-
bought me a pint, Stephen.
Like,
and I'm
that'd be
delivering
weird if
pizza.
every table bought you a pint, though. I'd left you a tip, I'd be like, what the fuck's going on over here?
If I worked in a bar, I'd definitely like take pints constantly. Like, it's get me through the day. I need this. Or through the night.
Well, I mean, my new one, we're allowed to, where we're currently, we're allowed, well, there's some badge pint, I'm pretty sure we're allowed, like, you know,
Give it one.
because it's more of a small chain, don't really give a shit. Where, I mean, the other one was a small chain, but they were just uptight and they had to wear, like, smart uniforms, that and the other. And you had to drink at the end of the shift. You couldn't just, like, say if someone bought you a shot, you couldn't do a shot with them.
do a shot
it was just like, how it?
Whereas you can
like,
now.
one shot's not going to get me smashed that I can't do my job. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna have one shot
Start pouring
start
stuff everywhere.
smashing stuff all over. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing.
We were discussing this at the start.
You know, it's
We were
ridiculous.
discussing this at the start of the week, though, weren't we? And when we went for a walk, and I was saying, like, that must raise morale, surely. Because you feel less like a draw, and you feel more like a person when someone's like, oh, I
Yeah.
need a drink, you know,
Yeah.
like, as long as you don't go overboard, I think it's fair, you know what I mean? Like,
You do some taste testing in a cocktail bar, like, oh.
Yeah.
I'm shit-faced, mate.
I mean, that's where you could probably go get pissed if you're doing cocktails. You're like, oh, sorry, boss, it's too much grenadine in here. I can't-
You're doing all the fancy tricks and you're just making a mess. Nothing's actually going into the guy. You're just like, yeah.
There's been a previous few bar jobs, not going to say which bars I've worked in loads, but one or two of them where I have actually...
I'll say it.
No,
No,
don't you dare. But there's been a few where I've done some taste testing or this, that, and the other, or tasted the beers, right? And after, midway through the shift, I was like, fuck, I need to have some water. Because you notice I'm like,
You can
starting
tell
to fall.
Steve's what they're called, cocktail professors now. Do you know when you like you do a class on it?
I'm not a mixologist. I'd say cocktail maker.
I know, because you're fucking drinking them all.
You used to
throwing
say
them everywhere.
mixologist.
No, it's not the right. It's not. I mean, technically, I got employed as a mixologist, but it's by people who don't know what the fuck a mixologist is. If you say professional, you're a mixologist, they'd be like, prove it, and I wouldn't be able to prove it because I don't know all the fucking cocktail.
Is that when you need to know the exact measurements? Like,
No, it's
Free pour,
a
whatever it's
mixologist. You know how to make drink. I mean, I can make my own drinks. I made my own drinks for different bars.
And they're very good.
That's a good cocktail maker. But
That's
a
some
mixologist needs to know pretty much every cocktail in the world, I'd say.
Yeah.
And there's some people who are shit hot who they just know it. And
is it like to your region?
They know what to put with what, you know.
but I mean, is it like you need to know all the drinks? Yeah, you know,
It's
all the drinks.
It's all different spirits, all the liqueurs to go with them.
I
Stuff
mean, like a
garnishes.
specific one in New York that we haven't heard about, but in New York it's very big. Is it something you need to know? Or is it just like a sex on the
Like
beach?
there's stuff like Manhattan. I've actually forgot what goes in it, but I could like.
Oh,
I
fucking
know-
mixologist over here.
I know roughly what goes in it. Or blood and sand. That's you know what I mean.
What?
That
I had never heard that one.
Blood and sand.
Yeah.
yeah, it's like
Sparkles.
it's
Oh, is that the name or the I was
That's-
more confused because I thought that
Well-
was the ingredients. I was
Yeah.
like,
no. Yes, Dave, we made a cocktail with
well,
blood and sand. in it.
that was the reaction. I was like, blood and sand. Like,
It's like I'm sure it's whiskey.
HIV,
It's like
was it?
whiskey with grenadine, which is red. So it's like blood mixed with the
Oh,
sand.
yeah.
It's, you know,
Wow.
very much. Yeah, it's in the name.
it's very poetic.
Yeah, we'll learn.
But yeah, you do learn a lot doing it though.
No, probably. When you've come round and made us drinks, I'm like, shit, I didn't even
Well, just for context, in the past, well, obviously I can't now because COVID, but we've all been tested and whatever. But in the past, we beat Jack's house. He has like,
Oh, whatever.
It-
We've been tested, Steve.
I was you don't exactly have a full set of bar, but you basically have a cupboard full of different alcohols and liqueurs. And I'm like,
Yeah.
why does this man's been 7 for years? So I'll go around and I'll like do a makeshift tin or whatever. And
That's your role,
yeah,
isn't it?
Yeah,
Every night we
every
go
party
around.
is just like, Steve does cocktails, Steve, can we make one of them from last time? Like,
Steven!
yeah. I don't get a chill at a party, I'm just there making cocktails.
You,
It's like
get,
I'm
you
back
still
away.
get shit faced though.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, that Jack
Last
gives us
time
3
you did.
beers. That's my tip.
No, yeah.
you're making the drinks and you're just like, I love you guys.
I give Stephen water, like, there you go, Stephen. That's for
But
you.
we sit away from everyone. It's just like, these guys are fucked.
Jack said, you're too
Go
drunk,
free
Steve.
pot.
You need-
Steve, can you take me home,
Because you
please?
just
you're at your
fucking
house.
free pour you. You're just like, I fuck the measurement.
At a
Can I have a
party-
double blood and sand? He's like, oh, fuck it.
Oh, you know to work, but
Yeah.
like you're just like, fuck it.
Yeah.
They're all like, I love you guys. We're like, yes, I'm acting anyway.
I'm like, Steve, you want the shandy? I know how to do that.
Get a
Beer and
Foster's
black
and
currant.
some- yeah.
Jack, you fucked up. Ah, fuck it. What time are we on, by the way? That's what I was asking.
We're
about.
good.
It's
Still,
been,
we-
been about an hour and we've got about
Yeah.
15 minutes.
About 15 minutes.
Yeah. Before the cameras die.
Yeah. Imagine if they
The lights shut down.
By the way, before we go, do you want to...
What's the meaning of life? We got 15 minutes.
15 minutes.
Sorry,
I don't
we can
think we
sort
can
that out.
condense that far. But I was going to talk about your new tracks, Declan. I've got some new tracks you're working on.
Yes. What do you want to know specifically?
You got one out at the moment called
Nullifier.
Nullifier on YouTube. It's
I have a
about
question.
EDM.
What is a nullifier?
A nullifier is something that, like,
He's trying to take down the government. Search it.
as a general rule, it's something that negates something. It's like, like if you've got a fire, you need a nullifier to take it out.
I assumed.
And also it rhymes with fire.
I thought it was like
so
opposite. Like, say if you
well.
had like a speaker that amplified sound, it was like the opposite of amplify, like sort of like
Yeah,
done
it's
out,
something that
numbness.
it's something it
Yeah, so
negates
numbness sound,
the
yeah.
thing. Like it'll take out almost like a counter.
Because I was saying to you, I thought it was that, but then I googled just to make sure, and when I googled it, it was like taking down the US government, and I was like, what the fuck?
That might be a bit of a revolutionist, but not that far.
Because I googled it, I was like, what is nullifier? And I looked, it was like null.
Did you do
I
the
was like,
same?
oh, I know what null is.
Yeah.
And it was like, about taking down government. I was like, so
Null's
nullifier.
like zero, like
So he's an activist now. Yeah.
yeah, like null's like zero. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure.
But
And then,
you,
like, you're bringing it back down.
Yeah.
but I was going to say, so you're working on EGM
Yeah, so
EP.
so pretty much me and my friend like Jack Craggs, he went to our uni, funny enough,
Yeah.
did the production course. Really talented guy. We're doing
Most jokes are.
well, yes. But yeah, we're doing an EP. Just for like, to be honest, it just started for shits as gigs because he messaged me one day and he was like, you know what, I'm sick of just making things and never finishing them. I want to like make something and give ourselves like a goal to reach.
Yeah.
So we made that nullifier track within a day. It was really easy. Like
Shit.
I wrote all I got all the rhyming and words sorted within about, I'd say about no longer than an hour.
Did
and
Jack,
then
did
after that
Jack
it was just-
have the sorry to interrupt,
That's fine.
did Jack have like the bass line of the song beforehand, or did he make it on that day?
No, so what happened was, as I was writing the lyrics, he started like making the instrumental like at the
Yeah.
start, and then I started improvising
All right.
and just
From
like,
the instrumental that he already made.
He started,
Yeah.
but he hadn't made the full thing. We were kind of making it as we went along. He started making
Yeah.
it, and he had like a
mental,
repeating
isn't it?
bit, and I started like singing stuff, and then he started adding to it, and then I sang more.
Is this why, like, on Zoom, so you can give feedback?
So we were doing a Facebook video
Yeah.
call because we do that the whole way because he obviously does the production side of it, and I stay the whole time while he's doing it so that
Yeah.
he can sort of do it, and then I can give like my feedback and like add things to it.
Yeah.
I'd feel a bit shitty if I was like, okay, well that's my part done. So I like to stay and do it, and it's good because we're pretty much on the same wavelength the full time. I'll just say like, try this and see if it works, and usually it does. Don't know it's somewhere on dick or anything.
No, you suck it, baby.
I mean, it's impressive that you're doing it because you're on about doing 4 songs within 2 weeks, which is a big challenge. I mean, you just finished your second one, you said?
Second one
Today?
should be out at some point today. Might want to check that camera also because it's just
Oh, yeah, I think that camera's had enough, but we've still got this one.
that's fine.
But anyway, if you want to check out Nullifier, head over to YouTube. It's under Jack Craggs, is it?
Yeah, Jack Craggs. We could leave a link or something, I guess, at the end
Yeah,
in
leave a
the
link.
video.
Yeah.
The one we have finished today is called Lost, and that's like a euphoric EDM track.
Will that be out on YouTube soon? Or Facebook?
Should be out tonight at some point, hopefully.
Oh,
Oh,
shit.
nice.
So like and subscribe then,
it's-
everyone.
If it's not out tonight, it'll definitely be out tomorrow.
Mhm.
And I'm really happy with that one. We spent this is our 3rd day on it. We wanted because it's a longer track and it's a bit more of an epic. It's like a space epic almost. Obviously, I think you've heard the demo version, haven't you?
Mhm.
Yeah. And it's I'm really happy with it personally. Jack's vocals on it are like incredible on it.
Thank you.
Cranks' vocals are
Cranks.
incredible. You're a
Anyway,
good singer.
I think that's all we've got time for. Camera's about to die. I mean, that one already has.
Can I just suck Declan's quick
Quick
cock quickly? Dick,
Yeah,
quickly.
go for it.
So he's just said that he's done it in a day. I thought it was 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks you're doing it, but you said you've wrote all that stuff in a day, made the music. In one day, he had about 250 views. 2 days, 3 days. It's now nearly
400, I think.
400, and that was made in a day.
Getting there. Not bad for a day's
It
work, is
made,
it?
it made my day when Amy sent me the video of Grace like going on
Singing
with
the
the
stuff.
car. Yeah.
I'd tell you what Amy said, but because the camera's not on Declan, there's no point. But I'll tell you next time. It'll make his day.
No, tell him this time. Move the camera around. Come on. We'll do this. we'll drag it round over here so that there we are.
So me and... Oh, wait till Steve's done.
There we are. Let's hold it there.
So me and Grace have heard it before, but Amy hasn't because she was decorating. I think the day it came out. And today, I said to Grace, what would you like in the car? She's not playing through Bluetooth. She said, I said, oh, do you want Uncle Declan's song on? Because I knew it. Probably listened to it like 20 times. And not only because it's a friend, because I'm like, oh, this is actually quite good shit.
It really is good.
Yeah, it really is ridiculous. Especially one day.
Yeah.
It's too good.
Well, my parents actually, I was starting to phone my mum just so.
Well, they were at the rave, weren't they? They made a rave.
yeah. They're having a rave. They have glow sticks out and everything. But no, they said that because obviously my dad's like sporty more on that, and my mum said, "Is that Declan?" That she thought it was an artist thing, like someone who was like massively like, famous or something. Yeah. And she was like, "Is that Declan?" She's like, "Well, why is he doing it more? Like he's doing it more." Which they really enjoyed it anyway.
Every day's make a one, man.
yeah, no.
Give him 7 days, even the end of the week.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Sorry, back to what you was.
Yes, so the wife was the same as your mum. Said to Grace, "Oh, what would you like?" And she went, "Oh, I don't know." I said, "What about Uncle Declan's song?" She went, "Oh yeah," because she's already heard it a few times. And she was like giving it some before it started, so I put it on, and Amy hadn't heard it yet. So when I put it on, I was like sat there like Grace. I was like, Amy's gonna hear it. And I put it on and gave her a couple minutes, but she's driving because she's a controlling cow. Love you, Bip. No, she's driving, and I'm sat in the back with the baby, and we're listening. And it takes, I think it's like the first verse of Declan singing. And in our car it says Jack Cragg's Declan story, Nullifier. And she said, "Is this Declan's song?" I went, "Yeah, look, Declan." She went, "And is that Declan?" I went, "No, that's Jack. The other guy was Declan." And she waited for it to come on again because it like repeats.
Yeah.
Because at first she just thought it was a random song. Yeah. Like that I've just put on Spotify. And it went on. What's that saying?
Charge battery.
Yeah, so she listened, and me and the baby danced in the background. And she went, "Oh, shit, this is quite nice." I said, because I knew. I was like, "It is, isn't it?" She went, "Yeah, it's like Ed Sheeran-y, like probably before he got big, like this is something he'd be doing." I said, yeah. And she went, "Oh, tell him to fuck acting, do this. This is like ridiculous." I said, "What do you mean?" She went, "Well, acting, how hard's it getting acting? Really hard, like you're trying, all these are trying. Music is probably less so, but this shit is something you listen on the radio and people will be like,
yeah, it's like summer sound. It sounds like Kygo chill sort of album, or like something like that. Like it's summer chills. It's like
sounds like you could work out to it.
Yeah.
Baby, be my nullifier.
I imagine being at a barbecue with a beer in hand while
oh yeah, definitely. Or just
all right, we get it.
Oh, you bastard!
It's gone off. But anyway,
I was going to say like do a part 2.
Yeah.
Because when I was saying like what time is it? Not for me, because I remember you saying like an hour.
It's still going, but we'll wrap it up anyway. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
But yeah, if you want to check out Declan's song, head over to YouTube, search Jack Cragg's Nullifier, and there should be another song on there by the time you hear this.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And check out Jack Grayson on YouTube to see some of Jack's acting work.
And the road least travelled. Give it a like, subscribe. Stay tuned.
Catch you next time.
Thank you, guys.
Hopefully we'll have part 2 Jack soon.
I need a piss.